All right, Scorp. So just looking at the two, I get the feeling that for some of you, you need to start hammering down on yourself when it comes to paying attention to, what your instincts are telling you. So from Lee Vampire, discipline, training, consistency, and practice, and then instinct from chakra wisdom. Definitely there are some difficult things that, you are needing to kind of figure out for yourself right now, looking at discipline. But then the other part of it too, though, is if there's something that you've been working toward, you need to crack down on yourself and get to it. Instinct, besides paying attention to your instincts here, it's really about, being pushed to the higher ground by your guides, right? The solitary spiritual journey here. All right, Scorp. Here's your overall for the week. Oh boy. The Nine of Swords. So for a lot of you, it's going to have to do with anxiety, thinking too much about something, overthinking things. Man. And then for some of you, it's like needing to get out of a nightmare. But then, not really knowing what to do, because I look at the Nine of Swords and I think, okay, if we're talking about anxiety, it's fear about, what is going to happen next. Well, then you see the Ten of Swords directly after this, you know what I mean? But ew, man, and I kind of understand that. Some of you are just trapped in some really bad thinking right now, though, too. Now, in the past, the Six of Pentacles. So there may be a lot of anxiety over financial issues, which is possible for some of you with the Six of Pentacles, looking at needing to have some assistance. For some of you, you may have given something, but with the Nine of Swords being there, it's almost like, did I do the right thing? Should I have given this to this person? Oh boy, yeah, so for some of you, it's going to be financial struggles. So in the present, the Five of Pentacles. Now, on the other hand, too, right, you're talking about like being on the outside looking in, being forced out in the cold, being rejected, cast aside, and that could be the issue though, too. But for some of you, it's like, despite the fact that, you may have given assistance somewhere else, it's like it's not coming through for you now, looking at Five of Pentacles being in the present moment, and there might be like a lot of fear and anxiety when it comes to a financial situation, possibly needing to take out a loan for some of you to kind of help you out. But then the other thing I think is, if we're talking about dealing with people here, I think that the reason why the Nine of Swords is the overall is because there may be a lot of regret over the fact that you have given something to somebody else, but they didn't give you shit back. They just kind of like left you hanging, not so much like in the hangman type way, but like I think that you're still hanging here, because you're still thinking about it, but they have completely pushed you out, right? Future conditions, the Two of Swords. Well, what the hell do you do now? Do you like completely cut this out, cut this person out? I'm done dealing with this. I'm not going to do this anymore. But I don't think that some of you are ready to make that choice, because again, what does that mean? Well, then, you're looking at a painful ending coming after the Nine of Swords, which may be why you're not making the choice to kind of deal with this, but me, I'm always waiting to see what happens here. Your best path to follow, the Nine of Wands. You need to protect yourself. That is what I feel like more so than anything. I don't think that this is about, being paranoid and looking for another battle. I don't think that that's it at all. I think that you need to protect yourself in your own interests right now, and stop allowing, people to come in and make you feel like you mean nothing after, giving to them. That's what I feel more so with this. But for a lot of you, I think that this was something that you wanted to do, but I don't think that you expected to be like rejected and turned away, looking at the Five of Pentacles. Oh, wow. In your environment, the Wheel of Fortune or the Wheel of the Year. So looking at that with the Five of Pentacles, I mean, absolutely we could be talking about better things happening here, this cycle coming to a close, but then I also worry about repeating cycles, especially if you can't make the choice here to not do this again, and I really feel like for a lot of you, it's funny because I'm not seeing a lot of emotional stuff. I'm seeing, the physical effects, but then the mental effects more than anything here. And I wonder if some of you are not allowing yourselves to kind of feel this because you're not ready to yet. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune, right, it's definitely an opportunity for better things to happen, especially for those of you who are feeling some financial strain and difficulty right now, right? Absolutely. There may be a potential for you to receive, some assistance you may have in the past, but it looks like, there's that ability to do this again, but it's whether or not you actually want to do that or not, looking at the Two of Swords. But now, if we're talking about rejection here, it's really, this needing to be done with. But then I also feel like this was something that you were meant to go through, But now it's like, are you going to repeat the same pattern, or are you going to change things this time? Right? Because you're still being asked to protect yourself and your own interests. Your hopes and your fears, the Ten of Wands. Whatever this is like really, weighing you down, right? Being overwhelmed, having that heavy burden, looking at the Ten of Wands, needing to drop that shit, going back to the One. The other thing though too is if we're talking about financial strain, it's, worrying about the responsibility that's going to be laid on you because of having to, ask for assistance or take out a loan, right? And do you really want to do that? But then at the same time, it's like, I almost feel like some of you need to do this because with the Nine of Swords again being the overall. Now, on the other hand, right, like the whole needing to make a choice here and needing to deal with this is just too much for you right now. You would rather stay in the mental torture than actually ending the situation, which is horrible. I almost feel like you're punishing yourself for, giving and then not getting anything back, but instead being rejected and then being stuck. What I worry about here is when we're talking about self-punishment, it's with the Nine of Cups being there, I don't like it. So with the Nine of Cups coming out, we're talking about you being unable to make the choice here to, stop overthinking a situation that may have not worked out here and start looking at what is actually going to make you happy. Now with the Ace of Wands and then looking at the Six of Pentacles, you definitely gave into this, whatever this is. We could be talking about physical passion, creative ideas that didn't exactly work here, possibly a new job, and then ended up like being fired or leaving, looking at the Five of Pentacles, right? But whatever it is, it definitely ended in a very difficult way. But it had to happen though, and that's what I feel like. But for some of you, mentally, you're just stuck right now. You're stuck and you can't make the choice to do what is going to make you happy, what is going to fulfill those wishes for you, right? Now, for a lot of you, you may have had like unrealistic expectations when it comes to what you wanted or what you expected to have happen here. Because you're regretting the fact that you gave anything to this, But right now, mentally, you're just stuck with it. And I don't think that, you're ready yet. You're ready to feel it yet. It's definitely over with. Definitely. It's painful. Absolutely. It's almost like, here's this new beginning, but then it ends before it even starts. Like, what the hell? Why did I even give in to the idea that this could be a possibility? Now it's like I can't make the choice here to stop thinking about this or stop dealing with this. I'm still hanging in there and I shouldn't be, but it's because you can't see a way forward because I don't know. I think for some of you, you really thought that this was a possibility and it just did not happen. And for a lot of you, you may be beating yourself up right now because you didn't pay attention to what your instincts are telling you. But freedom from the mental block, being able to just kind of like let that go, needing to go through the rebirth process right here, needing to let this cycle close. It's funny. But, going through a rebirth here after this kind of punishment is going to give you a new sense of freedom and it's going to allow new growth to happen, right? But you're going to have to crack down on yourself here and start paying attention to what your instincts are telling you, instead of allowing yourself to be in the mental trap with the negative thoughts. But I don't think a lot of you are wanting, and that can be hard to do though when, you know, somebody has completely threw you in the garbage. That's what I feel like, right? But, you know, again, right, like if you're wanting to have, as far as a relationship goes, is somebody say those words to you, it's like you're being asked to say them, right? I just don't think that some of you are ready to move on from what you're dealing with right now. Now, for those of you who are happy in a relationship, it's very important to tell the person that you are with that you love them, right? You know, but the thing is when you say I love you, it needs to be without expectation. Like I tell you guys all the time, I love you to death. I love people who watch my channel. I love all of you guys that comment. You know, you mean the world to me, right? Like I don't have any expectations from you. I just appreciate you and I love you, right? Just as I would love myself, you know? And that may be a place that you're needing to come from right now in order to attract what it is that is going to make you feel it back. Because where you're at right now is harsh. But like, I get it. I understand it. I know what that shit feels like. You know, but you are responsible for creating your own happiness. That I will say too, with the Nine of Cups coming through. You know, but don't stay there too long. This is all like the mental shit that's playing out in your mind. You haven't even hit the emotional difficulty yet, which is scary to think about. You know, but I almost wonder if you expected this though, you know, so maybe there won't be too much emotional damage. But where you are mentally needs to stop for sure, right? There is a way forward to, you know, having your wishes fulfilled. But you need to accept that maybe what you gave before, you know, was to the wrong person or to the wrong place. All right, Scorpio. So if we're talking about what is going on with you mentally right now, I think that the reason why you're not feeling anything around this just yet is because a lot of you are stuck with these thoughts and not being able to see clearly here what is actually going to make you happy, or accepting the fact that, you know, what you thought was going to give you what you wanted didn't. You know, because I still see you looking at the Nine of Cups and this Ace of Wands going, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. You know, and I think that some of you did give to this here, looking at the Six of Pentacles, but then if we're talking about a person, especially here with the Five of Pentacles, being completely rejected and shut out, right? Now, I do think that for some of you, if we're talking about a financial situation here, it may be that you need to take out a loan to kind of get yourself out of that situation. I do think that, you know, with the Ten of Wands being there, the burden would be having to, you know, deal with the responsibilities that come with taking out a loan for sure. But I don't know. I feel like this is something much more than that, because there is definitely like an immediate painful ending, but I don't think that you're seeing it or accepting it, because I think that this is still what you want, right? And mentally you're just stuck. You're stuck. And then not only that, but, you know, you're going through all of these painful thoughts surrounding this. I think that this was meant to happen. I think it was meant to happen. The door was meant to close on this, but you run the risk right now of repeating this cycle if you continue to think that it's even a possibility here that, you know, this could change or give you what you want. I do think that it was initially there and you gave to it, but then I think that, you know, another person or another party here kind of fell through and completely like cast you out, like completely cast you out. And I think that it's, you know, somebody else doing that to you because of you being the Nine of Swords is the overall here, and being trapped in those kinds of thoughts and like torturing yourself mentally about, you know, this was supposed to make me happy. Why didn't this turn out the way that I wanted it to? And you're just not wanting to deal with the fact that it's completely over with right now, looking at the Two of Swords. You know, and all of it's just kind of like weighing on you. But it's like all you need to do is just drop it, right? Like you just need to drop it, you know, and needing to stand up for yourself and start protecting yourself here, you know. And then I do think that a lot of you are needing to crack down on yourselves and start paying attention to your instincts instead of giving to something that you think is what you want. Now, rebirth, right? It's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. Love, death, rebirth, right? I always look back at that and I think, you know, but what comes around, though, that creates this rebirth? Well, it's going to be freedom. Freedom from the mental torture, freedom from the pain, freedom from feeling rejected. But there's also new growth, right? So new growth for you after a sense of freedom. Now, looking at I love you and like attracts like, if you want to have that said back to you, then, you know, you need to be able to give that freely to others. It doesn't mean that, you know, you need to tell people that you dislike that you love them, you know, but appreciate the people that you do have in your life, right? Because what you put out there is exactly what's going to come back to you with like attracts like. This one is rough in a way that I have not seen for a while, but what scares me about this is there isn't the emotions behind it right now. There is the mental torture and mental suffering. Scorpio starts doing that to themselves. You could be in the death cycle for a long time. And don't do that to yourself, right? Just accept that as painful as it is, the situation is over with. Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you hit that rebirth cycle. You know, and you can deal with all of the difficult thoughts that are surrounding this. But like I said, I think that for a lot of you right now, it's just that you're going to have to give yourself some time, for sure, to accept that it's over, that you're not getting what you want, even though you gave what you could to it, right? But again, I feel like this was something that was meant to happen, you know, and I don't think that this is something that you need to repeat. I do think that you've seen it plenty of times before, right? But it's really up to you right now. You know, is this the last time? Is this the last time that you're going to give and then be rejected?